Thank you. It's a great welcome to everybody, and I'm so excited to meet my very long time boss in a way and friend, Hamad Bhai or K R Choudhury, whom I used to work with him in the early 80s with the Merseyside Bangladesh Association. He was the president and I was the secretary, but we ran a wonderful schools and Bengali activities here. So again, he's one of the important person who took part in the liberation movement of Bangladesh in the early 71. And today is my great opportunity to talk to him about some of the experience he had. So first of all, Hamad Bhai, Assalamu alaikum, and very nice meeting you after such a long time. And so I want to know, when did you get involved with the Bangladesh movement in 71? What time, which time did you start this movement? When did you get involved? 1971, is it after?
1971, during the liberation period.
No, but after 25th of March.
After 25th of March.
Yes. Tell
এখন
us.
আমাদের সেকশনকে ওরা ধরে নিয়ে গেল।
So then you were here.
Sorry to interrupt, sorry. It should be conducted in English.
Okay, but if you want to go to a bit of Bengali, I don't mind. আপনি English বলে দিলে ভালো হয়.
Yeah,
All right.
তাহলে English
Okay.
আমরা নতুন করে
All right, okay, start again. Yeah.
স্টার্ট अगेन
না আমি করে তো বলে দেওয়া হয় নাই।
No, but I'm on the don't want to intimate. If you feel worried, today I'm going to interview Mr. K R Choudhury or Hamad Bhai, whom I worked with him some 30 years ago as a student leader, but also worked him with the Bangladesh community in Merseyside. And he has got a great contribution towards the liberation movement of Bangladesh. So I will start with him because I know the background. I think, Hamad Bhai, if I remember well, you mentioned just now that how you got moved when after 26 March, when you had Pakistan Army had invaded to Rokhaya Hall. You read the story in the national newspaper that many women were raped there, and you broke down into tears, and you vowed not to smoke anymore after that. You gave up your smoking, and you decided to give the money to the dedication of Bangladesh movement. So, can you take us from there?
Yes. It was during that time, 1971, after our leader, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, got arrested, so we got, whole community got lost, Bangladesh. And that time, it was a Sunday, and I was reading daily Sunday Telegraph. What's happened during that time in Rukia Hall,
Yes.
student, and a lot of our
Girls were raped.
girls, mother,
Sisters,
sister
yes.
been raped by the
You read the story in the
Pakistan
newspaper.
newspaper, and I was crying, and very sad.
I can see you're still emotional today.
I used to be smoke. On from that day, I stopped the smoke, and that money had to support
The Bangladesh
our
movement.
liberation
Alhamdulillah. So,
period.
okay, so now
And
this
this
one,
is our promise was.
that's a fantastic. This is one of the finest story I've ever heard of that time that one can become so emotional and be involved. So, Aman Bhai, just go on then. How did you get involved in Liverpool? What was your role and how did it all start?
In Liverpool, we have a not a big community, small
Yes.
Bangladesh community. So my elder cousin brother who owned this restaurant, Kismet,
Kismet.
I was with him. So he was very sad on that period, right? And he's told me we need lot of money to be collected
I
to
see,
support
great. The liberation movement.
during that period. So we got to be better to call the meeting, and he trying to get all community members
Right.
to be get together.
So that's how you got
And
involved.
this is how we got involved.
Okay, but I know there were a lot of meetings, but you raised a lot of money also there.
Yes. So we form a committee which is called Bangladesh, Merseyside Bangladesh Association Action Committee. And that chair in the, my cousin brother is Sayyid Mudassir Ali,
Right.
late Sayyid Mudassir, and Vice Sayyid Waqt,
Right, yes.
and Rafiq
Rafiq, yes,
Ahmed,
yes. Again, late Rafiq.
and treasurer was set up Qazi Shahabuddin.
Right, big committee then.
Secretary was one of the, she was Miftah
Meet student.
Miftah.
Student.
students, and I was the one of the treasurer, assistant treasurer, and rest lots
Were there.
our executive committee.
Yeah.
So on that period, we just start to collect
Money.
each week.
Really?
Each week, every restaurant, I took a drive with our treasurer, a few of us, and we collect all the money. We deposited, and our treasurer and our committee directly
Okay.
involved with the steering committee, Justice Abu Said Choudhury.
Oh, you sent all the money to Abu Said Choudhury?
Yes, Abu
Right.
Said Choudhury. Right.
Okay.
So all these
Right.
documents were
Very nice. I just want to also like to know, because I know during this movement you were also harassed by other group. They wanted to intimidate you.
yes.
Including some Pakistani people that you don't have to name them now. But just tell me what happened.
A lot of some Bangladeshi was
Or East Pakistanis.
just supported on the both side,
Really?
right? I don't
No, you don't have to
know,
name, sir.
right? So one day, our senior, one of this lecturer from Manchester, which called Kabir Choudhury,
Yes.
we invite him for a lecture. Let's host community to know what's happening in East Pakistan during that time. So we had the meeting in Upper Parliament Street, one of the meeting hall. But so some group of Pakistanis,
Yes.
they came and closed the door
From outside?
from inside,
Really?
and what they shouting, all Bangalko, Dodo.
Oh, Angalko.
Hey,
The Angalko Pakro.
Pakro.
That's
So that time I just asked someone to call the police.
my God.
So we did take a police help and got out from there.
Oh.
So our meeting was obstructed
Right.
and stopped.
Oh, very bad news that was. So okay, so that's it. Now tell me, how was there were a lot about your brother is also here, we'll talk to him, and also another member here. And please you give them the right dates and names if you want to come in. But tell me, how were the Bangladesh committee was involved? Because that time, it was, I don't know how big was the committee.
Because every time, because people used to wait for our next news, what's happening to Bangladesh, because we are belongs to the Bangladeshi, and only news we used to wait for.
Oh, and how did
What's
you get the
happening?
news from the
Granada, BBC, another one with a radio.
World Service.
One service, radio, one service.
And BBC
And
World
this
Service.
is why we used to wait for this news to hear from them.
Right, every time you
Every time it's just like this is our what's happening to Bangladesh.
So what happened with your business and your work? How, we were
Because
working,
we do the same time, do the business.
but you spent a lot of time on
Yeah,
that. But you
not
were we were very stressed about the whole thing. Were you?
Oh yes, stats. My sister, my brother, they all from Chittagong. They take a walk from Chittagong to Habiganj
My God, such a long
by feet, by foot.
My word.
So you can imagine. From Dhaka, they come to Sylhet by foot.
And did they communicate with you over telephone or?
No,
So
no
you didn't know about this
communication.
thing. So,
After liberation, we came to know all these things.
my God, so that was just a very bad time.
Yeah,
Okay.
very bad time.
Okay, so now let's go on then. Who are the people who you think were helping you? Because you mentioned about the host committee, but first of all, let's talk about Bhabhi, Barbara Bhabhi, whom you were married to before the Liberation War in '68.
Is our late Harold Wilson. He was my
Prime Minister.
MP
Yeah, in Highton.
in Highton.
Yes.
And he was my MP. My wife, she gave me a lot of strength, not to my business, my community, my all strength. You know,
She
gave
did
me
when I was there
support.
as well, yes,
Right.
okay.
She gave me the full strength of
So she helped in the Liberation movement as well.
liberation. She took a step to go
Did she?
to Harold Wilson,
Did she?
and he's made a promise.
This is
He's made
tremendous.
this right.
I think this is a tremendous.
So it was very
Useful, so happy. So she also
Yes.
helped you, but how about the other people in the community? They also came.
yes.
So people they were wage earners, they were giving some amount of money from their
Oh
wage.
yes.
Every week they were giving this money.
Most of the people, most of my staff, every restaurant staff, they keep their own pocket money, and rest of the money they donate
Unbelievable, this is unbelievable.
to
To
people in
Did you know
Bangladesh.
where the money was going? Did you know that time where?
Yes, because Bangladesh people, all we do need the funds,
To
right,
get
to
for the
buy
war.
the armed
Arms, yes.
ammunition.
So you knew
right?
about this thing?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And then,
So steering committee, member K R Choudhury, our late Motin Shah, and few other,
they were.
they were connected. Right,
Okay.
with the steering
So,
committee.
you have talked about the Motin Bhai also, his son is also with us here now. But tell us about how did he also help you? What Rahman Bhai also helped you?
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
name some people who were working with? Some of them are not with us today.
Yes, a lot of our late, my senior,
Yes.
respectable community member, community representation, they made it. And they put that lot of time, lot of efforts. They try to put the community together,
okay.
right? They bring their all the lost their time and
The other thing I wanted to, because they were also West Pakistani that time. Did you have any problem from them in your life, or how was it? Because it was still a one Pakistan, and I just wondered how these Pakistan and West Pakistanis were there.
we feel like they felt always, our East Pakistani people,
Yes,
we got they're more higher than
really, there is pretty
they
complex.
always
Really,
when people go to the Bangladesh, go to the Middle East, and people say miskin,
right?
and we always feel
They were
it's
looking
sort
down
of
at you, so-
they always.
But there was a lack of
Go on.
communication that between you and them, because I just wondered what was the society that time.
Communication is like a different culture, two
Right.
different culture.
Okay, I get that.
This is how we feel.
All right. Now come to because also Indian and the host committee, and you mentioned about. I want to know involved with the other MPs, like as you know, John Stonehouse was also involved. And
John Stonehouse was involved when it was one day. John Stonehouse disappeared from England.
yes,
He
I
went
remember that.
to
is it?
Australia.
Yes.
So Scotland Yard, one day in the morning about 11 o'clock, two Scotland Yard arrived
Really.
in our restaurants. They want to check all the whole, financial, our, everything.
Gizmo.
So I called our treasurer, Shahabuddin. So Shahabuddin came. So we opened everything where we send our money to steering committee. Then they say the Stonehouse
Don't
disappeared with all this money, and this is what. So that goes the
Really, that was so some of
Stones
the
had-
bad things
yeah.
like that happened.
yeah.
Okay, now tell me, I know you suffered this, now let's come to the end of it in December 16, 1971. Where were you that time? When the
We are in
independence came?
here.
Were you in Liverpool?
We are in here, Liverpool. We are waiting what's happening in the television all the time, right? And when we saw is Pakistani armies surrendering,
You saw that,
yes, to the different parts of not a Bangladeshi
right?
presentation,
Did you react to
and
that?
this we make the question mark.
Did you?
I make question mark.
Why this is happening? Really,
Why?
so early, really.
Question mark is Bangladeshi people fight for their right.
And therefore, then why they are
And
surrendering to
Piece of cake taking by the
Indian government,
Indian,
Indian army?
Indian
That's what
army.
you felt.
This is what I felt during that
That's
time.
right. So okay, now from there on, we are trying to celebrate 50 years of Bangladesh in 2 years' time, inshallah. I would like you to reflect on that. How do you see that? How you worked so hard to the liberation movement, and after 50 years, how you feel? Where has Bangladesh gone? Or has it come to your dream?
I think Bangladesh people are okay, but we think we still, especially naive, how to rule the country.
No, you are a senior man now, so you tell what you're in your mind. What is it? You think there's a problem with leadership? Is that what you feel?
I think we got a lot to learn. We find easy Bangladesh 9 months.
So you think the one you had the dream, it is not exactly the same. It's now.
I would not say it is same, but lots different, and lot of we must learn how to give the respect who's lost their lives in during war time,
And also the one you worked here as well. You worked very hard in this part of the world.
and we must remember it is not a one-man show, it is a team, whole world, whole
Efforts.
countries fight for their right.
Correct.
It's not a one-man right.
Okay. So just tell me on that day how happy you were on the 16th of December 2000.
Of course,
Oh,
I was
1931.
very
You were
happy.
But you were.
I was very happy, but
But you had questioned that why the surrendering has gone to someone else.
and I would add something. We are the very unappreciated
Correct.
people. We should not kill our leader. How he's been
Very important point. Very
Killed.
important point. But the way they are being assassinated.
Right.
Yes.
and this is the habit of this, and then second our late president was same way he went, so that means we are not
Very important point.
we are not
Doing the right thing.
matured enough to get a free country.
This, but my God, that's a very strong point you are making. And then I think there's something else I wanted to ask you that you were very much involved with the Bangladesh community. I remember when I came in the early 80s and we worked together. How do you think of it? And you must particularly about Motin Sahib's son is also here. Motin Bhai was so much a leader. How do you see the community has moved, from the in 71 Bangladesh community and the Bangladesh community now?
After the community was on my bread and butter. Community I felt after the liberation. I had after the liberation I had a two president for the community, and because every community had a backbite and things, I do not want
No,
to
you are not.
involve in it. But how I involve this, I don't like one person who give the full time and some other person give the all this backbite and jealousy.
Just
This
lip
is how I,
service.
yes, all,
Lip service.
and this is how I involved. I thought this is wrong, right?
So you find it's not the same as before, the committee?
It is not same as before, and which way? I must say, our late MPs, local authority, host community, police force gave me a lot of strength, support to get together this community, and they helped us to develop this community
Yes,
together,
I remember that.
right?
Okay.
And this is another program only. Right?
Any suggestion you want to give to the young community who are coming from Bangladesh? What is your suggestion for our future?
I think young generation, they are not, they don't want to be involved with any communities, because we build up our community because we are lost. Because as a young generation, I think myself, they got their own job
To look after. and
to
not
look
one.
after, and they don't have any time to give time for the community.
But you also had a job, but you still give a lot of time that
But
time.
we try to get together on that time.
But now it is not that.
Not the
Okay.
things is changed.
Okay, well, with that was, I think we're going to finish today's wonderful interview. Thank you very much, Ahmad Bhai, after a long time, and may Allah give you long life, inshallah. Okay. Stop that interview of him. Okay, it's again 3rd of November, and this is on Sunday. Okay, just tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, ready? Yeah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, and again welcome back to the interview in Liverpool we are today. And we interviewed Ahmad Bhai just before. And this is another young person. When I say he's younger than me also, and I haven't met many young persons than me who was involved in the Bangladesh movement. So Saurabh Ali Bhai, whom I knew for again more than 30 years. And he is with us to talk about his experience. So, Assalamu alaikum, Saurabh Ali Bhai, and wonderful to meet you after 30 years or more. You look far better than I look in my age. So it is, mashallah, you're doing very well.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. So, okay, so let's know, how old were you when you started this Bangladesh movement in 71? And then I think you were 18, 19. 18, 19. No, so, just can you tell us briefly, how did you get involved with this community, with the liberation movement?
I was working in the Kismet restaurant,
Right.
who is owned by Mr. K R Choudhury. And 26th of March,
Yeah.
what happened in Bangladesh, after that, because we were young, Mr. Choudhury and others who were older than us, they have called a meeting to
Raise money
raise
for
the money or
give
to
support.
discuss and give support.
Right.
Very first meeting was held in Ojanta restaurant.
Right.
Yeah. We went there,
Okay.
and after that meeting, there was a lot of discussion to make the committee who would be chairperson and all
Right.
this,
Okay.
but there was no conclusion.
Right.
So the second meeting was very much needed to be called urgently,
Right.
and Mr. K R Choudhury offered his restaurant,
And guess what?
Kismet, to
Hold
have a meeting held there. And, I should thank him for give us the opportunity, give us his place,
Yeah.
tea and coffee and everything, to
All
serve.
these, we always enjoy that.
Because at that time, not very many restaurant was coming along to give this support.
Really.
Yeah,
Okay.
we needed somewhere to sit down,
Right.
and yeah.
Just want to add do you remember the time when because it must be after 26 March, isn't it? And then you started. Okay, now I know you were a young member then, but tell me what was your role and how was your feeling? Why you got involved with this?
Before that, we have to go 3 months before that. There was a big postal strike in this country,
Okay.
and I think that time postal minister was Tom Jackson or something.
Jackson, okay.
With postal strike, we never had no cooperation with East Pakistan.
I see.
With our
So there was
family
yes,
member,
someone else told me
with
that.
parents, yeah. So we were worried at the same time that happened
Right.
on 26th of March. So the only news we got through the newspaper,
Yes.
whatever written there, and we were very much worried because we have nothing to look for, and this was our the only things to
Express. Okay.
also to involve ourselves in the freedom fight,
But right.
whichever way we can.
You are like a freedom fighter that way.
Yes.
So, okay, now take us more. As you are coming middle way. So, how much time did you involve in these kind of liberation war movement meetings and doing other kind of things?
Well, of course, our senior there did the official work and
Yeah.
all the leading part, and we were serving them tea, coffee.
Yeah, you were working as a waiter. Did you also give some money to the
Mr. Choudhury knows best because we were only working for a small money that time.
Okay,
So
but-
whatever the wages was, this was given.
So you also gave
This
your
was-
wage.
yes.
Your wage also being a young
because
man.
being a waiter, we were living on tips.
Tips, and you gave that too.
Yeah, wages is given.
Alhamdulillah, that's a great thing. Okay, so now as I asked him before as well, how do you find the host community and the Indian community, other community helped you that time, or the West Pakistani? How do you?
We had a lot of help from the English community,
Right,
friends, those who we know.
they supported you.
Yeah. Even before that, during the 70s flood in Bangladesh,
Yes, sir.
we went to the street to collect
Please,
for people in Bangladesh, those who suffer during that flood. And because the Bangladeshi community or that time, East Pakistani community was very small in Liverpool. You could have count how many people were there.
Really? But were there enough West Pakistani people?
Few, not
Right,
very
okay.
many. Not very many.
But did you have any support from, what was the relationship with you and the West Pakistanis?
Not good, you can't expect to be good.
Okay, yes, okay, right. But the white community. Okay, so let's.
Also, one thing I have noticed,
Please.
though I was a young lad at the time, that most of the Pakistani people who I knew here, I don't have to name anybody,
No, please. Don't.
but they never believed that we will free our country from
Right,
them. This was their, you can see that in their face.
really.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put the same question to you now, Asra. Did you really think that Bangladesh will become, because there was a lot of uncertainty, because we were trapped in East Pakistan that time, and we were not getting information. So it was difficult for us also to know that it's coming so early. But did you know that it is going to be freed soon?
Well,
Did you feel like-
one
what
thing
was your
I
gut
believe,
feeling?
if you're fighting for your right, yeah, sooner or later
It is coming.
you achieve your goal.
So you were confident that something is
Yes.
going to happen.
I was not sure that within 9 months, but
It
I
will
was
come
sure we
eventually.
will achieve our goal.
Wonderful, that thing. So now come to the last time, when the 16th of December came. Where were you?
Just after work, because we used to wait for BBC
News.
World Service news
Yes.
every hour, especially 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when we heard.
And how was your feeling as a young man?
You can't express any word.
Right, go on. I mean, what did you do that day? Did you do anything?
Jump.
Really? Did you say what you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'll ask him the same question now. Although a young man, sufficient years have gone now. In 50 years, how do you think Bangladesh has done after that? What is your assessment of our liberation? You don't have to be diplomatic. You can say anything you want to.
The honest opinion is we don't, I don't expect our country to be as good as this country because, it takes a lot of time to build a country, but at the moment, the way the country is running, that's not a free country.
Right.
Because if you cannot express your feeling, then you can't be a citizen of a free country.
Right. Is that how you feel?
How I feel, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's one thing. And how about because what you told me is amazing, being a young waiter, you were serving the people who are coming to meeting tea, coffee, in a
Yes,
supporting
of
term.
course, yes.
But now you see your children are also maybe your age now or same time. How do you see the community as involved? Because we talked about Motin Bhai, and other leaders that time,
Yes.
the way they were taking
Yeah,
us.
I was 14 years of age when I knew Mr. Matin Shah
Right.
in Manchester. He was such a nice man. Heart of gold.
Absolutely.
Heart of gold.
Absolutely.
Because to serve the community, you have to have a heart of gold,
Correct.
and he had that.
So,
It's a special gift given by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Not everyone has it.
no, I mean, his son is here now and he's listening to us this one. But tell me, how is your community now after 50 years? Is it? Because you talked about Bangladesh, how you expect what is not. What is happening in this part of the world? How is the Bangladesh community functioning?
Here, going back many years, whoever comes from East Pakistan, leader, or even after liberation of Bangladesh, we how can I put it?
Say it bluntly, don't worry.
No. Whoever come as a government representative,
Right. They were different, had to pay.
no, without our League or BNP,
Yeah,
nothing was there. We used to treat him as our leader.
Right.
He's representing our Bangladesh.
Right.
But I think after 90s,
Yes.
this has divided the community here. Our League, Bangladesh. Our
Very
League, Bangladesh.
interesting. Very
But
interesting.
it was not there before.
So
Before, whoever come from Bangladesh, he was our minister.
he was,
He was our leader.
but now it is being a sort of
But
a
now our League,
party
BNP
politics.
is divided here.
But it's also reflected in the community here as well. So
Yes,
it's
it is.
interesting.
It is.
Okay, well,
But that's happened after 90s.
right, okay. Well, I think